What's the difference between Jasper and all cheap residential style air purifiers? So big things. Actually, I have a Jasper here.
It. Yeah. No, look at this thing. This is the best. I walked into a friend's house. Actually, he's known as Animal Bates on online. Chris, yeah, that's right. And I walked into his house, and I was just like, "What is this machine?" Because it was just cool and beautiful. And he said it was an air purifier. I was like, "Wow, that is the best looking purifier I've ever seen."
It's unplugged right now.
Okay.
So it's off.
Okay.
Right here. I'm not going to give you a demo or show you how it works, but the big things are it's metal, cold rolled steel, no plastic.
Oh, that's a check for me. Great.
It's a big deal. So the lifespan should be about 30 years.
Okay.
We built them instead of buying a cheap little plastic machine with a 1-year warranty. This is a steel machine with all commercial grade components that should last 30 years, which is why we're comfortable having a lifetime warranty.
Right.
And our warranty is badass.
Yes.
Very excited about our warranty.
Yes.
So let's say your Jasper breaks. We ship you a brand new one in the box. You take the brand new one out of the box. You put the old one back in the box. We give you a prepaid shipping label for UPS, and we schedule UPS to pick it up at 9 a.m. the next day.
Okay.
So if it breaks, that's a us problem.
Right.
It's ridiculous to me that warranties last 1 year when the product's supposed to last decades. That's not fair.
No, I love
putting your money where your mouth is.
No. And I love the confidence from it too. It's just like, and you also want somebody to enjoy like this quality air, and it's like you believe in your product.
Paying you a lot of money
to
solve their air problem. And if your warranty is a year, this is not cool.
Take it from the wildfire expert. This is Mike from Jasper. This is what we're showing you now.
The lifetime warranty is a big deal, but also just the size. So obviously it's on the table, so if it looks bigger than it is, if I put it on the floor, it's not that huge.
I'm 5'3", maybe 5'4" on that. Not a good day.
Is today a good day?
Yeah, today's a great day.
So if this was plugged in, you'd see that this light is green and the air quality would be on the top. So not only is it telling you like good or bad, but it actually is showing you the air quality in real time with the number. It's off right now. The other thing is it has 360 degrees intake. So what that means is you could put it in the corner. You can put it against the wall. They asked the air doctor. So when you only can collect air on two sides, air doctor tells you have to keep it from about a foot away from the wall. So next thing you know, it's like in the middle of the living room.
Oh, interesting.
And because it only has two sides, it has a good chance of not, with the way airflow patterns work, of not necessarily capturing the air. So the airflow design is designed so the most polluted particles fall to the floor, get captured, go back up into the breathing zone.
This is why I really love Mike, from the founder of Jaspr, is because he just thinks of it all. And this is really, honestly, like some of the people that I collaborate and work with and the partners too. It's like, because you are so intentional about your product and what you do, you really think it all. And the other thing too is EMS. Like you thought about that too. Very easy to do. Right. And then what about the EMF situation too, right?
So no Wi-Fi, no Bluetooth, no EMF, no apps.
Right.
We actually developed an app and decided we just felt weird about not putting that out there because like, there's apps for dishwashers these days.
Right.
The last thing I need is another app in my life to control my air purifier.
Originally, I was only trying to create an air purifier for wildfire smoke. I wasn't thinking about anything, but hey, when California has big fires and the West Coast is covered in smoke, we need a more effective solution that is ideally made out of steel, so it's high quality and it can last a long time, no off-gassing and plastic, and a cheap device that will only last a couple years.
Right.
It had to have the size, power, and performance like the things that we were using on commercial jobs. It had to be quiet. It had to be beautiful, so people would be proud to have it in their house, and it had to be smart, so it could be silent, but when it would detect the wildfire smoke, it would automatically kick on.
Right.
And then 2020, we're getting ready to launch, COVID times, so we ended up selling all to doctors and dentists, which was never part of the plan. And then patients started to find out about them from the dental office, and they had kids with asthma, horrible allergies, autoimmune stuff, sleep problems. They started to inquire about it. So we created it to be specifically a aesthetically pleasing, beautiful machine inspired by commercial air scrubbers for wildfire smoke. And now I've never in a million years thought we would be focusing on allergies and sleep and wellness and like really optimizing health. It was not on our radar at all.
Right.
So like the big difference is size.
Oh, but is it also the rule that, oh, if it's bigger, then it's better, like hands down, or then quality plays a role
Yeah,
too?
it is actually. It is in terms of effectiveness. Yeah, because most air purifiers have a pretty good filter in them. Filters work quite well. A good analogy is, would you rather have 99% of $1 or 95% of $5? So airflow is what matters most.
Right.
It's just usually the big powerful ones are loud and ugly, and then you don't use them. So it's like when Dyson came out with the first beautiful vacuum.
Right.
Like people didn't want these large, ugly vacuums all over. So the aesthetic and the user experience is what made it accessible.
And they also had the fans too that are like more sleek too, right? You can have these like industrial big fans, and then that it's just like too much. But
we're approaching it from a different lens. So there's nothing inherently wrong with most small consumer air purifiers. The problem is the size. So where they're marketed for like 1,000 square feet or a large bedroom, and like air purifiers don't care what your square footage. They care about cubic volume, ceiling height, airflow, and everybody wants to oversimplify and say it covers 800 square feet or 1,000 square feet. It's like, by coverage, do you mean cleans the air 99% or 10%? They don't say that part.
Right. Like, do you really have to spend a lot of money on air purifiers? Like what?
So you don't have to spend a lot of money. And the reason that we're kind of built different is because I wasn't trying to create like an air purifier. My background was in wildfire smoke and restoration and mold removal and floods. So what that means is I used to go into California or Alberta or British Columbia and restore homes after big wildfire smoke situations. And I saw how sick people were getting after wildfire smoke.
Sure.
And the machines that we were using for mold removal, floods, and fires were giant.
Huge, yeah.
Like photocopiers, like subwoofers, they were massive. They were super effective. They worked really, really good. However, the problem is they were really loud and really ugly. So it was disappointing that we would restore a home after wildfire smoke and then they would get recontaminated again. The smoke would come back in the house.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is reactive. How do we get more proactive? And I noticed that people would unplug these giant air purifiers we would leave in their house because they were so loud and so ugly.
Sure, sure.
So whether the noise pollution got to them or just the aesthetic.
Actually, is how much space does this unit cover? So let's talk about specifically about
Hairstyles
Jasper.
by Doreen. Great question. Thanks for asking it. And this is the kind of question that only can be answered like this in like a nuanced way, because everybody wants to answer difficult questions through the lens of Amazon filters. So a lot of companies for market research, they go and see what are the Amazon boxes. It's like square footage, price, right? Like you want a TV. TVs make sense. It's like 40 to 49 inches, 50 to 59. This makes sense. With air, you can't think about it in terms of square feet. A few reasons why. Number one, do you have 7-foot ceilings or 12-foot ceilings? Because that's almost twice the volume of the room.
So what do you think? You got to ask more questions about?
What's that?
I said we got to ask more questions, not just black and white.
It's not just black and white.
Right.
Do you have an HVAC system that is running, or do you have baseboards and split ductless heat pumps? Because if you have an HVAC system running, it circulates the air more. And like when you see a company's like, this air purifier is good for 800 square feet or 1,500 square feet, it's like they tell you that the filter captures 99.997%. That's per pass. So theoretically, we could have an air purifier the size of this water bottle that is 99.9999.
Sure.
But because of the size, it's only good for like a room this big. Right. This obviously can't filter your house. So when you hear that like square footage number, the real question you ask is, how much are you cleaning the air at that square foot? And when almost every company says the square footage, that's as if the air purifier is on full speed. I want to change the whole conversation because 99% of the time, your air purifier is at the lowest speed, not full speed. So it's like, what I want to know is how much cubic volume can your air purifier clean in a house with, fan speed 1? That's like the more nuanced question. And it's not that hard to calculate, actually, because...
well, maybe for someone like us.
Or
me.
ChatGPT can help.
Yeah.
It's the way you calculate cubic volume of a room is length times width times height. So what's the square footage? You multiply that by the ceiling height. Then if you can find the CFM of the machine, most people won't tell you their fan speed 1 speed. So Jasper, for example, our top-notch speed is 430 CFM.
And that's a turbo.
That's turbo. We're actually changing the name of the button to Deep Clean
Ah,
because that's really what it is.
sure. Yeah.
Fan speed 1 is 120 CFM. If you see like a little Walmart air purifier, often, and that's silent at fan speed 1, often for them, full speed where it's really loud is only 80 or 90 CFM. Fan speed 1 is like 20 or 30. So it's really not doing much.
Right.
So it's a little bit more nuanced, but the best situation is having an air purifier in where you sleep and where you cook, where you spend the most time, your bedroom, and where you pollute the most in your house, aka where you cook it.
Right.
And that's why we did our pricing the way it is. So like if somebody buys 2 or 3 or 4, the more they get, the cheaper it gets. And we have something called the life-changing guarantee. So what that means, if it's any time in the first 60 days, it's not obviously a huge upgrade for your health. You're not sleeping better. If your aura or your whoop score aren't through the roof, if your cooking particulates aren't way down, if your dust levels aren't low, you're like, yo, this is, I love what you had to say, but it's not making a big difference for me. Great. We'll give you all of your money back, take your money back and invest in something that does help because, you know, money has to go somewhere. It might as well go into clean food, clean water, clean air. Like it's a good place to put money.
Sure.
But if it's not making a difference in your life,
Right.
then you should take your money back. We only want to help people who feel the benefit, which is 99% of them, for a very long time.
Cool.
So if it's not good for you, it's not good for us. So
Great.
we'll give you back all your money. Just keep the box if you can for the first month or 2. If you don't, we'll send you a new one, but it would help.
Of it. And this is why, you know, just having even the device in the house is not like, oh, you know, it's cleaning or scrubbing my air, but it's also like, it feels good because I want people to connect more with their food, with their nourishment, with their intuition. And just even looking at, honestly, like the Jasper device, it's like, I know who he is. And he's such a wonderful, you know, man that has a purpose. And so it just feels really good. Like I'm connected to the air purifier now. And that's really cool. And so
Air
really
awareness.
appreciate, yes, air awareness. So apart from finding you maybe hugging a tree somewhere, where else can we find you online?
So I'm doing more of this kind of thing. We do have Instagram.
What's the handle?
It's Jasper Co, Jaspr,
Okay.
no E, Co.
Where else?
And then that's the main spot. Will you?
Awesome. Thank you for that. Mike,
Welcome.
everybody, founder of
See y'all.
Jasper. Amazing. Thank you guys for joining. We'll put some information down below too for you guys to navigate. And yeah, so thank you. Bye.